Vic Serta asks, could you please talk about the sin of sloth, acedia? I've been reading about the 7 deadly sin, but this sin in particular is very disturbing since it seems different from the rest. Yes. And how can one overcome it? Thank you, Jonathan. So, yeah, man. I mean, the sin of acedia, that's the sin of us. Like, that's our sin, man. That I would say that if there's one sin that represents the modern world, is the sin of acedia. St. John the Damascene, St. John of the Ladder, St. John of the Ladder says that it is, in a way, kind of like it's different from all the other sins. It's almost like all the sins can be kind of contained into the sin of acedia. So what is the sin of acedia? What is it? Let me explain it in a way that is usual to the way I explain things. So maybe it can help you understand it if you've been paying attention to what I'm talking about. So it's like the sin of acedia is something like the incapacity to pay attention. It's something like that, right? And so that's why it's hard to understand. If you don't kind of understand it that way, then you'll struggle to understand the descriptions of it, because it's not just laziness. Because the sin of acedia is also the sin of a busybody. It's the sin. So, for example, one of the descriptions of the sin of acedia is the monk in his cell who wants to see people, who wants to go out and talk to people. And so that's also the sin of acedia. And like you can imagine that someone who is sitting around and is bored, that's the sin of acedia. Who wants to see change, that's the sin of acedia. But also sloth in the more general sense, in the sense of laziness, of incapacity to do the things you need to do. All of that is the incapacity to pay attention. So the sin of acedia can actually manifest itself as being extremely busy, because you can't imagine being alone. Like, you can't imagine stopping. You can't imagine, let's say, stopping in silence and prayer. And so your mind and your activity moves from one thing to the other. You always need to be distracted, right? That's the sin of acedia. And so, like I said, it can manifest itself as this desire to be constantly distracted. So the sin of acedia, I don't have it here, but the sin of acedia is looking at your phone every 5 minutes. That's the sin of acedia. Checking your phone is the sin of acedia. Every time you can't help yourself to check your phone, you are manifesting acedia. Every time you doom scroll Facebook, you are manifesting acedia. Every time you're bored and you're wondering what to watch, or you absolutely have to watch something, or you don't know what to watch because you don't know what to do. All of these are all acedia. So it's like the kind of overpowering fatigue that you get when you need to do something. It's acedia is often called the demon of noon, the noon demon, the noonday demon, right? And so one of the images people have of the demon of acedia is, right, the guy in his late 40s, 50s who all of a sudden, leaves his wife, buys a sports car and gets a young girlfriend. But that's the sin of acedia. It's the incapacity to hold attention. It's like, I need to be distracted. I need to change. I need a new car. I need new clothes. I need a new TV. All of this is all acedia. So it's like, if you want to understand the sin of our world, it's acedia. And what's the solution to it? The fathers say it's patience, which is just really difficult for us. Stillness and patience, a capacity to attend, capacity to pray, because often a lot of these things are there to stop us from praying. So good luck with that. But I'm saying, like, notice that the examples are just streaming out of me, because I am a slave of acedia, just like most of you as well. And I can see that. And so we need to develop discipline in prayer and discipline in solitude, and the capacity to attend